Hello everyone, welcome to our math class. In this math class, we are going to learn about chapter 14, the last chapter of your higher math book. And the name of this chapter is probability. So, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about some concepts, and there the basic concepts about probability, and then we are going to determine determination of probability using sample space and probability tree. Then we will see what's a probability tree and what's a sample space, and finally solution to the problems of exercise 14. So to understand probability, the things that you need to know are firstly, what is a random experiment? So basically a random experiment is where you know all possible outcomes of a experiment, but you cannot say the exact outcome of certain attempt in this experiment. So for example, you take a coin and try to toss it. So what happens if you toss a coin? You know that it can be a head, or let me enable my pen. It can be a head or it can be a tail. But do you know which one this outcome, or if you toss the coin, which side will actually land on the ground? You actually don't know. It's up to the fate or up to the luck. So you know all the possible outcomes of a coin toss, but you can't predict the exact outcome, or you cannot say the exact outcome of any attempt. For example, if you toss a coin 1 times, you cannot tell that whether it will be head or tail. Similarly, if you toss the coin 100 times, you cannot tell that whether the coin will actually have a head or a tail when it's falling on the ground. Similarly, you can take a dice and throw it. Not throw like this, but throw. Okay. You know that a dice has 6 numbers. That is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and then 6. You know that if you roll a dice or throw a dice, not this throw, I'm telling you again, you know that you have the possibility to get 6 numbers. That is, we can get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. But can you exactly tell whether you will get a 1? I'm gonna get 1 in this throw, and you cannot tell that you can get this you can get this exact number in this throw. You can get that exact number in that throw. Okay, so you cannot tell the exact outcome, but you know all the possible outcomes. So coin toss and throw of a dice or rolling a dice is actually a random experiment. Okay, so various other random experiments are there. If you actually make a survey, for example, you take all of your friends and you ask them whether they like math or not, whether they like statistics or not. So you find that 1 by 9 of them like math and 3 by 9 of them actually like statistics. So these values are actually random because if you actually change your group of friends, that is, if you start with group A, then you actually exclude them and start with group B, you will get different value. For example, 2 by 5 and 3 by 6, for example, both are possible. And also, at the time of taking this or conducting this experiment, I don't think you can actually predict which percentage of people will actually like math, or which percentage of people will actually hate math and fall in love with statistics. Okay, so these are all examples of random experiment. Okay, so random experiment is done. Then we come to event. So event is basically an outcome or a combination of outcomes of an experiment is called an event. Okay, what did I say? I can't understand myself. So an outcome or a combination of outcomes of an experiment is called an event. For example, getting 3 after throwing a dice is an event. So you roll a dice, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you roll a dice and you got a 3. So all these are the possible outcomes of a random experiment, and this one is the actual outcome or real life outcome of that experiment. So this actual outcome or coming of this actual outcome is actually called an event. Similarly, if it was not 3 but 4, then it will be an event or actual outcome. Okay, I don't think they use the word actual outcome, but I use it, so bear with it. And then getting an even number in this regard is also an event. So you roll the dice and you can get a 2, you can get a 4, or you can get a 6. So you actually want to have even number. When you throw the dice or roll the dice, you can get an even number, that is 2 or 4 or 6. I guess these are these numbers. So if you want to get an even number, that will also be, or if you get an even number when throwing a dice, that will also be an event. Similarly, getting a head in a coin toss is an event, or if you toss it another time, you got a tail, that will be another event. Okay.